Hi guys, welcome back to a brand new piercing horror stories video. Hello everyone, what is the tea? What is the Darjeeling? So, how are we all doing? I hope you're all having a wonderful, wonderful couple of days. Now, today we are delving back into the piercing horror story realm. Now, I've not done one of these videos in such a long time, so thank you to everyone who has sent me horror stories on my previous horror story video. Make sure if you want to get your stories in the next one, comment down below some of your piercing horror stories. As always, as I always say, you're more than welcome to repost the same story if you've not been featured, so maybe you can get into the next one. Eventually, girls, it will happen. But quickly, as always, please hit the like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell if you are new. I do videos every single week, girls. But anyway, let's not be around the bush and get on to these horror stories. Nastiest piercing horror story ever. Ooh, time to bleed. I got a breast infection after getting my nipples pierced. The infection was deep inside, but it healed at the piercing. My breast swelled up twice its normal size and hurt so bad. The doctor kept trying different antibiotics, but nothing was working. This went on for months. Then at work, a guy asked why my shirt was wet. Oh God, why is your shirt wet, girls? My eyes up here.
Mummy's got breasts.
So a guy at work asked why my t-shirt was wet. Then I looked inside and there was a puddle of infection in my bra. It had finally worked its way back to the piercing site and was draining itself. Oh my God, for weeks it leaked out. I had to wear those nursing pads in my bra and still had to change my shirts at work. There was at least half a cup a day coming out. Oh my God, as an extra bonus, it smelled horrible too, but healed up fine after that. Oh my God. I have to say, the title of that one, Nastiest Piercing Horror Story, you win, girl. The fact that you got a breast infection and then it was leaking and it was oozing and it smelled and it was horrible, like the fact that all that happened just because of a nipple piercing is absolutely insane. I think sometimes when people get piercings and they think of infections, they genuinely just think the infection is going to be at the hole, which is why I think sometimes people do piercings at home or do this kind of stuff because they don't realize that infections can drastically spread through the body. It's not like you just had a nipple infection. Your entire breasticles got infected, and then all of a sudden it's like leaking out and they're getting puddles of ooze coming out at work and no. But I'm really glad that you are okay now. I'm sorry that you had to go through that. Oh my God, disgusting, girls. I want to just point out I am a little bit sick, so if you can hear I'm a bit sort of funny when I'm speaking, I'm just not very well. My piercing horror story. So I wanted a helix piercing really bad when I was about 14 or 15 and I told my mum. She told me I could get it done. I assumed she would take me to a professional piercer. She didn't. Oh God. She took me to Claire's. Freaking Claire's. I told her I wanted to go to a professional and she had a fit. So I just wanted it done there because I was terrified of my mother. Terrified of your mother? Why are you terrified of your mother? That gives me bad vibes, Gail. It obviously broke my cartilage because it was a piercing gun. I'm in love with tattoos and piercings, so I clean and care for them really well. Despite the fact I cared for it really well, it got infected and started to swell. I continued to care for it and my ear was starting to grow over the back. Oh no! I went to the hospital and it turns out the person who did the piercing had run her hands through her hair while she had gloves on. What? And had her hair in my piercing. What? I know it was her because her hair was blonde and I have black hair. Wait. So you had her hair inside your piercing. What? What? Her hair was inside your piercing. Inside it. Oh my God. This is why everyone should be bald. So I'm now 22 and I decided to get this piercing redone. I asked another piercer I work with to do it for me. I'm currently an apprentice body piercer. He agreed and we got it all figured out. He goes to pierce it and jams the needle into the scar tissue above where he marked. Oh, for God's sake. He got the needle in part way. I was in tears from the pain, so he pulled it out and asked me if he should try again. Needless to say, I didn't get it redone. Yeah, please, you're cursed. You're cursed, girl. Although I dislike Claire's, to know that her hair was in your piercing actually takes the biscuit and kind of makes it go, that's something else, girl. First of all, I'm sorry you went through that. Second of all, what the... And then later on in your life, you try to get it redone and then the person messes up again. Someone's got a voodoo doll on you or somewhere, or someone's put a hex or a curse on you. God. Ear.
is cursed.
I got my Medusa about a year and a half ago, and I was absolutely in love with it. It healed beautifully, and I had multiple settings and rotated them frequently. I think it's always fun when you have like a piercing and you can like change up the jewelry quite often. I need to actually do like a new look. I think I might do like a black ear piercing look now, change all of them to black, just to see what it looks like. Fast forward to last Friday, August the 6th at this point, my GM and friend was moving to a new state and needed someone to look after her dog because she couldn't bring him with her. He was very, very sweet, but had issues with separation and anxiety. He had peed on the floor, and I was cleaning up while he suddenly lunged at me. Oh my god. Oh no, your poor Medusa's coming out, girl, innit? It's being ripped out, girl! Rippity whippity. I went to the floor, and by the time I got him off my face, I want to say that this was literally a freak accident. No one knew this would happen, and I'm not mad. That's nice. He had ripped the piercing out. There was a lot of blood and my chin had really deep lacerations on it. And I knew that I'd lost my piercings because I licked the back of my lip and the backing wasn't there. I was super lucky that I had a bar in with a smaller backing and the actual tearing was minimal. 16 or so stitches, 14 on my chin and 2-3 in my Cupid's bow and some medication, and I'm already hoping it heals well enough for me to get it re-pierced at the end of the year. Oh my god. Oh. And yeah, unfortunately, animals and piercings don't mix very well. At some point, we're probably going to get a dog for this. Well, it'll be Callum's dog. It won't be mine. So I'm obviously going to have to be very careful with my piercings and a new dog. I mean, I'm glad that you're okay and that you're very sweet about it. And hopefully, you know, in the future, you will be getting it re-pierced as long as it, like, the area heals really nicely. Like, it will depend on how bad the scar is there. But, oh my god. Naughty fluffies. Okay, my piercing horror story actually doesn't involve a piercer, but a different kind of professional altogether. A hairdresser. Woo, boy! I had about 10 piercings on my face and ears, and I mostly had rings or industrial bars instead of studs. Really, really noticeable stuff. You couldn't miss it. First, the hairdresser was combing out my hair after a wash with a wide-toothed comb. No idea what a comb is. Get it? Because I'm bold. She was moving the comb so aggressively that she caught my eyebrow piercing in it. Oh, and it damn near tore it out. Oh my god. I showed her my piercings after that, pointed out each one and every one. She acted like she could handle it. Now that she understands, so I let her continue. Huge mistake. She snagged 3 different ear piercings, and none of them had dangles or anything, just basic bars and rings, and I showed them to her. But she refused to comb and brush slowly and carefully. Refused to change her routine. Most of these piercings were at least 2 years old, but in the end, I was holding my hands over my ears whenever she stopped snipping and brought out the comb. And that's when she snagged my eyebrow piercing a second time. That's coming out, girl. I feel like at the end of the story, you're going to say now it rejected, because eyebrow piercings are notoriously sensitive. And if you catch them a couple times, your body is literally like, well, I'm a head out. My industrial developed a big bump, a hypertrophic scar I never had before, and my eyebrow piercing started to reject, see? The other ones she caught were okay. Like, yes, I do understand that, you know, doing these things do make certain things harder sometimes, especially if you go to like a hairdresser quite frequently, and they have to be more careful. But like, at this point in this day and age, you would have expected like hairdressers, especially because a lot of hairdressers are kind of alternative themselves. A lot of them have like modifications and things, so you would have thought they would have been more careful. I actually find it really rare now to see like a hairdresser, especially like a salon hairdresser, who's like completely like empty. But the fact that you showed them to her and she still like refused to kind of be careful around certain areas, like she can still easily do your hair and be slightly careful around the ears. That's such a weird thing to be like, no, I'm gonna do it my way. Yeah, I did it my way.
It's as bad as I've ever heard.
I don't know why I keep breaking out into song. Piercing horror story. I went to get my eyebrow pierced at a studio that I didn't research as much as I should have. I went with my partner and his daughter, a minor. The guy piercing me would not shut up about nipple piercings. He was desperately trying to get me and my partner's daughter, again, a minor, to get our nipples pierced there. What the hell? What? We were both completely uncomfortable, and it was a terrible experience all around. My piercing ended up rejecting, and I got a pretty bad infection. The place since has been shut down. I heard it was shut down because the owner was selling... oh, something from the place? When I screenshotted it, there's like a little box thing at the bottom. I don't know what that says. Meth? We're going to say meth. We're going to assume it says meth. He was selling meth? Yeah, I've actually heard a few stories about some professional piercers being a bit creepy. I just want to let you know, it is a minority. Of course, I champion professional piercers to be like, go to professionals, go to professionals. Unfortunately, you know, there are some people out there who aren't good. You know, and that goes for every sort of, every realm of existence in the world. Any kind of job, there's always going to be a nurse who's a bit shifty. You know, we hear about doctors who have like killed their patients on purpose. Like that, you know, there are always going to be bad eggs in, you know, in the field that you're in. But I have heard some stories before of some creepy piercers who have like touched people inappropriately or said like things like this, like talking about getting a nipples pierced and really trying to force it onto you. Like I've heard this story before. I'm sorry this happened. I'm glad that you got out there, but I'm sorry that, you know, all that stuff happened and you got an infection and stuff. But the fact that it's closed down now is at least some kind of beacon of light. Not a piercing story, but I got a tattoo from a new shop a few years ago. Wasn't my usual place, but whatever. I saw a beer on the counter and figured the artist wouldn't drink a beer while doing the job, right? Turns out I was wrong and he was super drunk. Oh my God. I'm assuming you got the tattoo done by this person because the story carries on, but like, why would you not just like walk out at that point? It was extremely painful and he went so deep the ink didn't stay in most parts and eventually healed as a blotchy infected mess. 6 months to heal. My new artist went back over it last year and it healed pretty good, but you can still see small scarring under the faded ink. I couldn't feel some parts because of the scarring under was so bad. Oh my God, the fact that you've like damaged the nerves and now you can't actually feel it just shows like how horrific the first person was. First of all, yeah, I'm sorry that you had to go through that. I guess maybe you're a bit nervous to like sort of walk out. I don't know. I guess you've already paid a deposit. I guess you would have lost the deposit. Just remember, if you ever have a red flag about a piercer or a modifier, listen to that red flag and leave. You might lose a bit of money, but it is not worth your own health and well-being for a bit of money. Like, you just leave. If there's red flags, leave. Because that could have ended so much worse. Like, so much worse. I feel like this person's got off lucky, actually. Really, I love your contact lenses in this video. Thank you. Do you like these too? I'm demonic, girls. Boo! So I've had nipple piercings for about 2 years now. About 4 months after they healed, I bought nipple shields that I thought were really pretty. It was weird jewelry, and instead of the bar going through the shield, it went through the tiny hoops welded on the front of the shields, which pulled my nipple up and also made the shield sit snug against my areola, basically stretching my nipple out. Oh no, which was uncomfortable, but I thought it would get used to it. No, 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 no. If you're wearing any jewelry that is putting any kind of pressure on your piercing, take it out. Back in more in my early days of piercings, I have worn jewelry that wasn't the right shape, and it's caused me to get hypertrophic scarring on piercings and stuff because they were too tight and they put too much pressure. Your body is never going to get used to being put in a position it doesn't want to be in. So even if it's just a tiny bit of pressure, it can cause rejection, infections, bumps, like everything. If a piercing is not fitting properly, do not use it and get another piece of jewelry. My nipples got really sore and I started getting consistent infections despite cleaning. After a month, I took the nipple shields off to find a literal hole filled with black pus in my areola, where the shields have been slowly cutting through my skin because of the pressure from the nipple being pulled up through the shield. Completely healed now, but that was not fun. I cannot believe that managed to heal. I've pulled my nipple piercing just once, just one little tiny snag, and it started rejecting and completely came out. The fact that you had a piercing that was like being like pulled in a position constantly, the jewelry was cutting into your skin, and you had black pus inside. Oh, I'm so shocked. I'm genuinely shook to the core that it healed properly. Wow. Wow. But please, guys, if you are watching this, please take warning from this. Like, do not use jewelry that is not the right shape or putting any pressure, because it will just your piercing. Piercing horror story that didn't happen to me but someone I worked with. This girl had her nose pierced and wore nose rings to work, which wasn't allowed. Oh, rebel girls. You were only allowed to wear studs, and this story will tell you why. Whilst at work, somehow her nose ring got caught in a customer's clothes. What? It got caught in customer's clothing. Don't ask how, as I haven't got a clue. The customer didn't realize and moved and ended up ripping the nose piercing out of my colleague's nose. What was she doing? Was she hugging a customer? Like, what? I know you said you don't know, but I'm still going to speculate. What? How? What? Her nose ring got caught in a customer's item of clothes. As always, I have many questions, and no one here to answer them for me. So I was allowed to get my first low piercings when I was about 10 and went to Claire's for that. Big mistake. They pierced it with a gun. All was fine until both earrings got massively infected. It got so bad the pain covered my entire head. It even hurt to look in certain directions. What? The infection completely ransacked by my ear, and the back of my ears split open. I was very stubborn and kept them in and was cleaning them every day. They eventually healed up and fine. That was the worst pain ever. Sorry, I got a bit discombobulated when I was reading that because it was so insane. I can't even speak. Roly.exe has stopped working. So your infection made your entire head hurt. Again, it goes down to this whole, like, they spread. Infections spread. So you might get an infection here, but it can affect more than that. But, like, the idea that, like, the back of your ear split open and, like, it sounds like you had, like, impetigo or something. Like, it spread and you end up getting impetigo and your ears got really dry and, like, split open and stuff, because that happened to my sister when we were really young. But, like, the idea that you kept them, I mean, I'm stubborn with piercings, but I mean, if that happened to me, I would not keep that in my ear. Wow. I'm kind of shook. That was a lot. This is probably one of the worst ones we've had so far. These horror stories have been very, very intense. I'm actually in shock that they healed. I cannot believe that they actually healed. How did they heal? Tell me how they healed. Maybe I'll do an ASMR video this year. My painful piercing horror story. Went to get my ear stretched. I had standard 18 gauge earrings and went to the local piercing shop that my friend recommended. I should not have gone. Dude didn't introduce himself and looked like he was 18. Just stopping it there, although I do understand about the age thing. I mean, I don't know how old, this person was. I think sometimes you think someone's older, they're necessarily better. A 30-year-old who's now a trained piercer might have only just started training when they were 29. So age isn't always a telling if someone's good or bad. Dude didn't introduce himself and looked like he was 18. He literally straight up stretched my ear to an 8 gauge, and it was really, you went from an 18 to an 8 in one go. I ended up going to my regular piercer and she was horrified at the blowout he calls. No! My piercer was fortunately able to fix it and thankfully healed with no issues. You are so lucky. When you get ear blowouts, it's so difficult to get that to actually go back to normal and heal. No, no, no. I'm very surprised you managed to fix that after that. Jesus Christ. Well, guys, I'm well and truly aboard that trigger train. Choo-choo! Being down the railway about to crash over a cliff and plunge to my death. Bye, bitch. Oh, my God. Again, I feel like this is one of the worst ones that we have had. Like, this is insane. Oh, my God. Oh, the nipple shields digging in and getting black pus. The person with the infected entire head with split open ears. The infected breasts. Like, the leaky nipple. I can't. Wow. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Sorry, I need to lubricate the throat, girls, because it's sore. But this is. Thank you to everyone who has sent me your stories. Please, as always, comment down below and comment your own piercing horror story, and maybe you'll make it into next month's edition. I need to get back to making these every month. I used to make these every month, and for some weird reason, I kind of stopped doing it. But I'm going to make them every month from now on. So make sure you do comment down below and leave me a comment about a piercing horror story. And if you did miss my last video, make sure you go check that out. We did our first TikTok piercing fails of the year. So head over to my last video and go watch that one if you did miss it. And as always, please hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any videos that are coming up. A massive shout out to all of you for doing that. Thank you. A lovely shout out to my lovely Patreons, whose names you can see on the side of the screen here. And an extra special shout out to my top tier Patreons: Aurora666, Benjamin Baker, Bethard, Booshot93, Brenna, Cassie Helch, Kaz.Thom, Shell Herman, Corin Pemberton, Crafty Leaks, Dark Angel 666, Deanna Nida, Heather Prissy, Aia, Joanna Course, Caitlin Wright, Kat L, Kelly Bowser, Chloe Louise, Laura Alice, Marissa, Nana Marie, Robin Scott, Sam Perfect, Shay Stimpson, Sierra Tonabenny, Steffi Tech, and Suz. Macky wacky girls! Thanks for being my top tier patrons. You guys are incredible. There's a link down below as well if you would like to become one of my Patreons and help me succeed in the world, girls. But anyway, thank you for watching. I'll see you soon. Bye.